Now the module of the DAPM. Diploma in Agriculture. So I think this is the very first time you are seeing me, and I am Suranta, Dr. Suranta. You can call me any way you want. So I'll rename my name first. Name. Okay, so I put a backdrop just to make a little bit interesting. This is a field where crops are there, but actually it's not a field crop. It's some fruits. That's the only image I had put now. So a beautiful one, right? So this is not taken in Sri Lanka. This is a field from Australia where when I was working, I took it, right? So let's get back to the session. So field crop production and export crops, right? So field crops and export, I think the name of this module. So you can go to the LMS and have a look on the module. I have put the link here. So it is, the name is Field Crops and Export Agriculture Crops. Field Crops and Export Agriculture Crops. To record this, right?
Recording in progress.
Yes, so field crops and export agriculture crops. We will come to that. So before that, let's try to get to know each other. Shehan, Camillus, how are you? And where are you from? Is Shehan there? No, Shehan? Okay, Prabuddha is 066. So look, my style is I always ask questions and I want you to speak. Okay, I'm not going to, it's not me only going to speak throughout the session. So I want you all to answer questions and speak. So that is my style. I will ask random questions throughout the session to guide you and also to make sure you understood. All right. So I want you to always interact with me. Who else? Let me see. Isara. Isara, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Hi. Yes, Isara. Where are you from?
I'm from Walasmula.
Walasmula, right. So are you working or not working or only doing this course? Anything about you?
Currently, I am working in Sumitra Private Limited as a HR assistant.
Good, good, very good. Thank you, Mr. And nice to have you. Hashini Dasanayaka, Hashini Dasanayaka. Hashini, how are you?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I'm very well.
Where are you from, Hashini?
I'm from Kurunagala.
Kurunagala, same district. Good. So are you working?
No working.
No, it's fine. So hope you can complete this successfully and go forward in your studies and then work. So thank you, Hasini, and welcome. One more students, let's say Hasita Lakshan. Hasita? Boys latika. Where are the boys? Hasita. No Hasita. All right. So that's fine. So when I'm asking questions, please on your mic and answer, because imagine this is a physical class. Imagine it's a physical class. So you can ask questions anytime. Raise your hand symbol. Do you know there's a hand symbol in your Zoom? You can see in reactions. Reactions කියලා තියෙනවා button එක. Hand symbols. You can raise the hand, or else unmute directly. Right. Okay. So everyone can try that. See, I can see here who is raising the hand. So Prabodha, Chamila, and you can lower the hand also. Click that again. Good. Right. So now you click it once and again click it that again, or put lower the hand. Hasita's mic is not working. So can you put lower the hands now? Lower hands. Right. Good. Or else you can directly chat. Text in the chat any questions. Okay. And or else unmute the mic and say, excuse me, my question is this and this. And please mute the mic after that. Okay. So these are the ground rules. Please mute your mic if you are in a crowded place. We don't want to hear your private talks. So mute your mics always after talking. Right. So I'm flexible, right? You can ask questions. Please get the full maximum benefit from today's session. I'm going to meet you only once, and today and all, that's all. And tomorrow the next group. Okay, let's start. Now, so from this module, field crops and export agriculture crops, I'm going to do only field crops. Right? I'm going only to do field crops. Now, what are field crops? Any ideas? What do you think field crops are?
Tea, rubber, coconut.
Tea, rubber, coconut. Okay, thank you, Miss. Any other ideas?
Sugar cane.
Sugar cane, yes.
Sugar cane. Moira.
It's like all the crops are field crops, kind of. Tea, rubber, coconut. Good idea. Good idea. Let's see. Now we are going to sort this out. Now, in Sri Lankan definition, now we have categorized crops. This can be different for another country. But in Sri Lanka, now you can see this image. What you can see now, I'm going to ask a question from one student. Walpita, MS Walpita, 03078. No. Aberatna, HSH, Aberatna. Come on, where are you students? Ashan? It's 300. Please unmute your mic and speak. I can't hear. Now you have to be quick, because we have to finish the class also, and others will be feeling bored.
What is the question?
Yes, the question is, Mohammed, can you see this green crop here? What is this crop?
Paddy?
Well done. Paddy. Thank you, Mohammed. Good. Another question from another student. Let me see. Who is there? Ishini Nilupuli. 082. Ishini, are you there? I know, so maybe today some on trips, long weekend. That's fine. Wherever you are, please connect with the class. Okay, seems like time is wasting. So you can see there's a paddy crop in the image. And what are these insects? Maluvalathin, insects. Yes? Generally, what are those in these sacks?
Gram.
Dal.
Dal.
Good. What is this green thing?
Green gram.
Well done. And maybe what is this? Red and the
Cowpea.
cowpea. Well done. Well done. Thank you. And I want one student right now. Thank you, that student. Eshan Mendis 002. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
What is this? Try to wait. I will have this one. Name or not?
It seems like
Any idea?
Uluhal, but
Sesame.
Sesame.
Fenugreek.
Fenugreek. My goodness. Yeah, that's why we're learning the subject. Ulvala, little close, says fenugreek. But you have not seen fenugreek. Not fenugreek. Not fenugreek. It's fine. That's fine. We students, you can do mistakes. That's fine. Suggestions. I think now generation doesn't eat this. They very rarely eat this. Any ideas? Come on.
Kolluda.
Kollu. And right. Who is that student who answered that? Kollu. Well done. Big clap. What in English? Now you know in Tamil or Sinhala. What do you call Kollu in English? So that is what you. Yeah, raise hands.
I don't know that.
Huh?
I don't know that.
Yes, that's fine. Senaviratna, yes? You are raising the hand. Do you have a question? Okay, Senaviratna not answering. Kollu is horse gram. Horse gram. Remember that. It's horse gram. Thank you, Hasita. Right. Hasita mentioned that's a horse gram. So you see, kind of dry things I have put here. Not any mango, not any banana. I have not put photos of flowers. I have put all like dry rations. Neither we call dry rations. We go for grocery shopping. 25th, 26th when salary come. I think all kind of in the working industry, except some students. We go for grocery shopping, right? So cereals, grocery, grams, green gram. So what are the names shall we type here?
Lentils.
Lentils, yes. So green gram. See the name, green gram. Now you have to learn English words. That's why the diploma is. Cowpea. So you can take notes. I will give the handout, but please be free to take your own notes. Horse gram. I will make the recording also available. This is also kind of a cowpea. And this is dal. Lentils. Yes, she said lentils. What is that? Yes, let's see, right? So this is, you know what is this, no? This one.
Gram.
Gram, right. In English. Yeah, we call gram for everything, no? Right, what is that? This rough guess, even in Sinhala and Tamil? What do you call that one?
Kadala.
Cardamom.
Kadala.
Kadala, right, correct. Kadala. So what do you call it in English? We call
Peas.
Chickpea. Good, very good. Chickpea. So today when you go to the grocery, Mudalali, give me 1 kilo chickpea. That's how you have to talk. Not kadala. Give me 1 kilo, 500 green gram. So if our nation start to speak English, what a nice thing. English will be not issue. So Mudalali, give me cowpea. Cowpea, that is fine. Horse gram. Right. Okay. So now what are these then field crops? Now export agriculture crops are tea, coconut, rubber, and cinnamon, all that. You will learn later. What are these?
Nutmeg, cardamom.
Cardamom, right, all this. Nutmeg, cardamom. We export out of country, and they have been, because they are popular for exporting, we name them as export agriculture crops.
Areca nut.
Areca nut. See, here I have put an image here for you. So these are export agriculture crops. Below ones, yes. So the other ones we call field crops. These one we'll call field crops. And these are export agriculture. Export agriculture crop. In short terms, they call EAC. So, kind of spices, all the spices in general term, and even so export agriculture, all the export agriculture, so, and others are field crop. But I again repeating, I am going to talk only about field crops. Export agriculture crops are done by another lecturers. That's not my part. Now, field crops, as we entered, right? Oh, you saw the slide. Now, what are the other kind of crops you have heard? You saw the slide, but that's fine. You can tell. Other types of crops. So, one is, you heard the first term, field crops. Then another term you heard, export agriculture. Now, yes, you are living now for 20, 30, 40 maybe years. What are the names you have heard? When you say here crop?
Forestry, aquaculture.
Export agriculture crop, good. Forest trees, aquaculture, what else?
Plantation crops.
Plantation crops. So see, different terms. Fruit crops. Fruit crops.
Perennial crops.
Perennial crops, I think. Perennial crops.
Miscellaneous crop.
Miscellaneous
Miscellaneous crop.
Miscellaneous crops, what is that? You have heard something like that? Miscellaneous crop, okay. Miscellaneous crops, right? Maybe it's a term that's not popular, but maybe it's a name used for not highly utilized crops. Okay, that's fine. And that's called underutilized crops. So there are a lot of types of crops. And horticultural crops.
Floriculture.
Floriculture, that's why flower crops. Now, dear students, these sometimes are global, sometimes are according to the country. So, out of all them, field crops, what we are going to learn today, has a general idea that these are grown in, cultivated in large fields. Large fields, right? In large fields, not in small areas. You have to cultivate them in large fields, right? Now you might wonder, oh, then how about rubber, tea? They also grow in large fields, no? But large fields, cultivated large fields, and most are kind of grains, producing grains, cultivated large fields to produce grains. Grains. Now write down that word and you can find your own language, in your own language, the term grains, atajati. Cultivated large fields to produce grains. For main purpose is grains, not to take fruits, not to take flowers, not to take latex, not to take leaves, grains.
Family Poaceae.
Family Poaceae, very good. Family poesis. I'm happy you're brainstorming new words. We are coming to that. Exactly. Family poesy, keep that in mind, right? So export agriculture crops are categorized for exporting. Forestries for forest purpose. So for easy identification and management, dear students, in agriculture, we categorize crops. First thing you have to remember that. Now your degree, agriculture and plantation management, because it's aligned with your diploma, it's aligned with the degree plantation management, which is your final target. So it is more towards the plantation crops. So what are the plantation crops? Here we know coconut,
Tea, rubber,
tea, rubber,
palm,
sugar cane, palm oil.
sugarcane. So which are grown as which are managed as plantation, the sugarcane. So sugarcane also comes under plantation. Sometimes some people put it in the field crop, but as I said, it's for grain. So some crops are in the margin, it's overlap. That's fine. That's totally fine. Because the categorizing, so crops are categorized. So I will type like this. Crops are categorized mostly based on their popular economical value and so it's sometimes now if you go to India, you know, banana is a plantation crop, for example, right? But for us, it is a fruit crop. We don't put banana under plantation crop because banana is grown in large scales in India. It is a like that. So that's why don't keep a hard rule, dear students, but keep a fair idea that crops are categorized according to their popular economical value and the crop physiology, and I should say, and management practice. Right. Okay. Now let's move on to our note again. So I am Dr. Suranta, is and I'm from the Department of Horticulture and Landscape Gardening. As you have now listened to many lectures in this diploma, so we have different departments in the faculty. So I'm from the Department of Horticulture and Landscape Gardening, right? Okay. So according to the economic value, as I said, economic value, we are categorized field crops, crop diversification or classification. All right. Anyone can identify this crop? Chehari.
Yes, sir.
Can you identify this crop, please? Any guesses? That's fine, you get wrong. Chili, if you tell chili, even I'm fine. I need you to speak.
Is it soya?
Good guess. Good try. Green gram. Correct. So this is green gram. What is? Pardon?
You plant.
Green gram. Yes. So this is a green gram crop. Thank you. So this is green gram. Now what is green gram? Green gram, I know in Sinhala. Mungeta. Green gram. Remember those names. Green gram, you write in your book today. Green gram, mungeta.
Dicotyledone.
Cotyledon, pardon?
Dicotyledone.
Dicotyledon. So dicotyledon is what? Dicotyledon is. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm very proud. You are using terms. So what is dicotyledon? Dicotyledons. Dicotyledon is, yeah.
Dibijapatri.
Dibijapatri. Yeah, that's a category of seeds or seedlings. So that's green gram is a dicotyledon. That's good. You have monocotyledon like coconut. So
Siamese.
Pardon?
Siamese monocotyledone.
Yeah. Correct. Siamese is monocotyledon. Correct. That's right. So now look, under field crops, most are dicotyledons. That's fine. Now can be monocotyledons also. We are coming to that, right? Siamese, as you said, the maize, body. So both are there, but green grammars are dicotyledon. Good. Now green gram. Now my point was here. See, it has been, now this is an image taken from Anuradhapura, from Mahailupalam. If you go to Mahailupalam, so what is the main research station in Sri Lanka doing research on the field crops? You should know. So in Sri Lanka.
My categories.
Yes, so MI is, so we call Mahailupalam, Now, where is Mahailupalam? It is in Anuradhapura, remember? MI. So, Field Crop Research and Development Institute. So, Field Crop Research and Development, FCRDI, I think the name is Mahailupalam. Field Crop Research. MI. So all our field crop researches are done at Mahailupalam in Sri Lanka. Remember that. It's like, but especially because there is a special institute called for rice, which is also field crop, that is in Batalayagara. We will come to, because that is a staple food.
Bombuwala. Ambalanthottu.
Bombuwala, Amala, yes. Bombuwala or our substations, that's correct. And we also have this Agalavatta, Bombuwala. Those are for oil crops and other like condiments and all that. So popular place is Mahailupalam. So, pardon?
Sugar cane Udawalava.
Yes, for sugar cane, it is Udawalava Research Institute. Correct. Now, field crops, the general term you can put are herbaceous plants grown in large scale cultivated fields. So for grains, forage, sugar, oil. Now, in other countries, and even in Sri Lanka also, we take for forage. What is forage? Grain, you know already. Grain is for our consumption. The dry.
Forage for animals.
Forage is for animals. Forage we take for animals. Sugar, like the sugar cane. Oil, fiber.
Livestock.
Yes, for livestock. You're right. This is a very good group. Huh? I tell you, you are better than your last your senior group or the previous group, because I have done for 2 batches. You all are talking very nice. Now see this green gram field. Now field crops have some distinctive ways of cultivating. First thing, can you tell what type of a bed is this? And first let me know, when you hear field crops, which areas do you remember in Sri Lanka? Now all these crops, the first image I show you, rice, cowpea, lentils, and whatever the others. Which areas do you remember in the Sri Lankan map? Sri Lanka map එක ගත්තොත්, in Sri Lanka map, which areas do you recall that these are cultivated? If you take the Sri Lanka map, so field crops.
In dry zone?
In dry zone. Very good. So when you take Sri Lanka, right? How many zones we have? How many main zones do we have?
3.
Yeah, it's a diploma level, that's fine, but 3, that's good. Very good. So we have something called like this. We call this one dry zone. Then we have something like this too. We call this one
Wet zone. Intermediate zone.
intermediate zone, wet zone. So this is wet zone, and the other one is intermediate zone. Right? So remember, there is a dry zone, intermediate zone, and wet zone. The rainfall, this is depend on the rainfall. Remember that. This is for your knowledge, right? Depend on rainfall. Varshika, Varshapata, rainfall, millimeters. And the elevation, rainfall and elevation. Pardon?
Depend on elevation.
Yes.
Up country, mid country, low country.
Correct. And elevation. Good. So now first, hold on. Depend on rainfall, we have the dry, intermediate, and wet zone. And another category is there, even below that, depend on the elevation, we can categorize based on elevation. We have up country, low country, likewise, right?
Mid country.
Very good. Up, low, and mid, right? So taking both of these, we call the agroecological zones. You know that, right? How many you have agroecological zones?
6.
46.
Very good. So we have in Sri Lanka 46 agroecological zones. Depend on rainfall, we have 3 major zones. Depend on rainfall and elevation, we have agricultural zones 46. Remember that. So, for example, Kurunegala belongs to Kurunegala, maybe this area somewhere here belongs to intermediate. No, intermediate zone, not dry zone. Kurunegala is intermediate zone, right? Anuradhapura is dry zone. I'm from Negombo. I'm also in intermediate. It's in the border of the intermediate zone. Unbelievable. But Gampa is wet zone. Now, these are not the districts, remember. In the crops or agriculture department, there is a different map the whole country, irrespective from the district. District no district problem. They have divided each area into according to the rainfall and agriculture. So most of the
Topography.
yes, the topography and the rainfall. Good, very good. So most of the field crops we have a feeling that they are a little bit harsh. Little tolerating the very dry, harsh weather, field crops. So when we hear field crops, we get the idea like they are in the dry zone. Field crops in the dry zone. Can be grown in wet zone also and in the period, but more popular in the dry zone. Another reason is they need larger fields. For example, you want 1 kilo of green gram. You can't just grow that in your back garden. That is the issue. To get 1 kilo, maybe you need to grow maybe half an acre. Or more, or a little less than that. So that is the issue. So but flowers, little fruits. A fruit tree is very well enough for a family, no? So you need to grow it in large areas. Right, let's move back to the note. Right, now my question was here. Now look at the image again. What is the bed type? This field crop has been established in what type of a bed? So when we are dealing about crops, we can establish it in the field. In the field, we can use different beds. What is a bed now? Bed is not the bed you are sleeping. This bed is the bed we are going to establish the plants. So the bed type. We call the bed type. Any guesses?
Elevative.
Elevatic. Good. In Sinhala. Okay, that's fine. You can tell in Tamil even. Let's try to translate that.
Rich. Rich and
Borrow. Borrow. Good. Good try. I'm happy. All right. Here's a small note on bed types.
Tiru.
Tiru. Now you can see the plot is here, no? Like this, no? The plot is here. So this is a bed or a plot. Bed or a plot. So you can see each crop has been separated into like square areas. So people can walk in between. And this is not actually for walking. What they do in this free space,
Watering.
we are talking about dry zone. Dry zone, it's too much hot, too much evaporation. So you need to retain the water. So
transpiration is too high.
very good. So what they do is they pass water through this small lower drains. Right? So we will come to that. First, we'll talk about the bed type. Right. Now, in agriculture, you might have done, you know this, but today maybe you are getting to know the name. When you establish a plant, a crop, just on the ground, no special beds made, just over the ground. So this is the ground, and you're establishing the plot there. We call this one flat bed. You have to write this. This is not in the note, right? If you want, you can. This is called flat bed. This is additional to the note. And if you are cultivating it like this, kind of a raised type of bed.
Noridoko. Sponge. Sandy.
Noridoko sponge. Bendy. Yes, they call that Noridoko. Yeah, you have a very good. And this one we call generally here raised bed, because it is raised. The soil is flat, but bed is raised. Right.
Sunken bed.
Good, I'm coming. Then if the bed is lower, below the ground level, right? If it is lower below level, and the crops are cultivated in this lower place, we call them sunken. And if the beds are looking like this. Like a zigzag or like a wavy
Ridge
pattern.
furrow.
Good. This is the sand, this is the land, see? And the crops are cultivated on these higher points. So actually a bed will look like this.
Irrigating to lower point.
Yeah, we get the lower point, very good. Yes, so these are called ridge and furrows. And what's that in single acid elevate is this. So in this method, you irrigate, you release the water in this, you let the water stay there. So water is staying there. So the roots can absorb the water. Okay. Now look at these diagrams very well. Right? And tell me what kind of bed was used in this. In this green gram plot field.
Raised bed.
Raised bed. Actually, just to give you a feedback, when you go to Anuradhapura and see, now mostly they use this type of bed for reason. Now the bed is like this actually, students. In the lower area, this is the high area, and these are all lower. It's like this: lower, high area, lower, 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 and again higher like this, and again. So if you see a cross section, the bed is like this. And the plots are here. So it's kind of what kind of a bed?
Ridge and furrow method, sir.
Yeah, it's a ridge and furrow, but we can call this, it's a ridge and furrow. See this very carefully. If it is a ridge and furrow, you're saying where the crop should be grown. In a ridge and furrow, so I forgot to tell.
Ridge.
In the ridge, so I forgot to tell you. So this is called a ridge. So this is a ridge.
There is a sunken bed.
Very good. And this is a furrow. So ridge and furrow, remember, you don't plant the crops in a furrow. You plant in a ridge. So in this image, where the plants were established, so the image was like, the crops are like this, no? So what type of bed is it, students? This is a sunken bed. Sunken bed. Now, why they have put a sunken bed? Because they can
This is a
allow,
dry zone.
it's a dry zone, but dry zone sunken beds are not much recommended. But here the sunken bed is used because they can allow water to trap. So in dry zones, pardon?
Conserve the water.
Conserve the water. Now, when you pass the water over the surface, so in the dry zones, they use mainly, dear students. So we call like this, when it goes over the surface, Prushtya Matupita, Yanavana, we call surface irrigation.
Surface irrigation.
Yes. So in dry zone, most of the cultivation is done. Can you tell me, in the dry zone, most of the cultivation is done? Is it a rain-fed?
Pot irrigation?
Pot irrigation. Tell me the most popular method in dry zone.
Dripping?
Border irrigation.
From these three, what?
Micro irrigation?
Ridge and furrow irrigation.
Yes. Now look at the screen, please. Look at the screen and let me know A, B, C. Dry zone most popular irrigation method. Is it rain fed,
B.
tanks and canals, sprinkler? B.
B.
Rain-fed cultivation.
Rain fed cultivation. Okay.
Tanks and canal.
Tanks and canals. Good. Good try. Actually, these students will get to know the Sri Lankan real situation. In Sri Lanka, luckily, once upon a time, one government, I should tell about that also, one government introduced or established beautiful canal system in the dry zones. So most of the dry zones are saved because of this. Our most major strength is we have tanks and canal. Jalasha saha wari eli.
So establish the IMI in Sri Lanka?
Yes, that's correct. So through the IMI and through the Mahaveli Authority especially, we have this tanks and canal system. We are blessed. Thank you, whoever took that brave decision. Otherwise, we will have to still be in rain fed, which will be a disaster. Now, the commercial farmers going for sprinkler is okay, but not all. Who have money goes to sprinkler. But what I said, the popular, most popular.
Many expensive? Expensive?
Yes, the sprinklers are expensive. Only the wealthy farmers can go for sprinklers. So that is exception. But Sri Lanka still for rice, pad, and all other cereals, we use the tank and canal. So when we use this tanks and canal, it uses a surface irrigation method, dear students. What is the surface? You know, they open a canal, and let the water flush or come through. So the water is coming over the soil to your field. So once the water comes in, the farmer can't store in tanks. Remember, once the government or that agrarian or the divisional secretarian or the Pradesh Sabha, right? DGs, divisional, what do you call, Gram Niladhari Kotta. So you call those names. So they decide a date, we are going to open water. You can't store it in the tank. There's a lot of water, no? So the farmers have to make their field a way that you trap the water in the crops. So a method like this. That's right. Yeah. Give me a second. Okay, sorry. So the surface irrigation method, so what they do is they try to collect the water. So they have to make their beds sunken. So they allow the water to come, get it, and close that boundaries.
You are classing for me. No, I'm a cover. Well, yeah, I'm a cover and navigation. Okay. Now at the moment, okay, so you already passed
Boundaries or the barriers, right?
yeah, the you try from the pulmonary. Yeah.
Yeah, give me a second. Yeah. Sorry, students. I have another session to be comments. I did it. Okay. So that is why remember, because in these large fields you have to have this. If you are depending on tanks and canal, your field has to establish in a such a way. And there are other patterns also. They use lines like this. So in the field, these are another ways. If you go to a maze in dry zone, so they allow. Oh, sorry.
Please send the message to your friends who have not.
So the maze are in lines. So they allow it like this. So even this is common in sugarcane. So they allow the water to enter from here, and water will go this way and this way and come in this way. Right? So just for your understanding. Any other questions from here?
No, we will be staying in critical level.
Yes? No?
After that, I'm coming back to I booked a bed. Tomorrow morning I have here.
The students? Hello? Right. Okay. I think no questions. Let's move on, right? Can you answer this? You can send the text in the chat box.
Answer is D.
Okay, others, you can answer in the chat box.
Agriculture innovation.
Right.
Company here.
Answer C. Is easy, no?
Managing director of Plantation Private Limited.
Which is the correct statement. Field crops are grown in small extent as field crops are harvested for food. Field crops are type of living. Yeah, very good. Very easy. Not an issue, huh? Good. Right. So here are some images of field crops. Now, some are spices too, like condiments, chili, and onion. That's so. There's some images. So let's go to this breakdown. Have a look on this, dear students. Have a look. Can you just check? Can you understand?
So there has a noisy.
How about now? Is it fine now? Or still
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
fine? Okay. Right. So please have a look. So there are types of field crops. Now we are coming little closer to field crops. We are coming inside to the field crops. So in field crops also, you can further subdivide it. It's based on the large extent cultivation concept. You can subdivide it. Just see, can you identify some categories? Here is
Recording in
oats.
progress.
Oats. And then, but that is not in Sri Lanka, oats, wheat. Right? And then pulses. Grain legumes. Pulses, grain legumes. And this is the one also you refer as lentils.
Fabaceae.
Fabaceae, then about, okay, Fabaceae, right? Good. I think you have done a lesson on families, isn't it? Yeah, very nice. So you can generalize it as all Fabaceae, but remember that's not all Fabaceae are lentils. Remember that. You can't say all Fabaceae are lentils. But lentils or pulses can be from Fabaceae. Okay, I'm repeating that again. All pulses cannot be Fabaceae. For example,
Leguminaceae.
pardon?
Leguminaceae.
Leguminaceae, yes, Leguminaceae. So most of the crops are Leguminaceae. That's good. Legumes. So grain legumes. Correct. Pulses, lentils are legumes. And then oil crops. Oil crops. So oil crops means the purpose of the crop, economical importance is extracting oil. See, sesame. Sesame is what? In Tamil,
Tala.
Gingerly, same. Sunflower, linseed, these are foreign ones. That's fine. And that's, remember, the spice and condiments, also so-called we have been referring, can be come under field crops. Spice and condiments, because they also grow, you can't just grow 2 onion crops in a pot and say, I have a lot of harvest of onion to my family. Can't. You need to grow a lot. Right? So, onions and red onion and chili.
Solanaceae.
Solanaceae. Good. So you're trying to identify the families. Very good. So fiber crops, we have fibrous and other. Now today we are going to mainly focus on these cereals and pulses for you. Let's see what are the difference of cereals and what are the different pulses. So from today onwards, you are not going to jumble this. right? What are the difference of serials and what are the difference of pulses? Now this is
They
the
are
image of,
two.
what is this? Pardon, yeah, crystal. They are
They are in two families.
good, good. They are into families. Right. Shape.
Recording in progress.
Looking at the names. Looking at the names, cereals, and pulses.
Cereal monocotyledone.
Good try. And lentils are not monocot, like dicots, no? Or pulses.
Yes.
Good. So let's keep those in the mind. I'm happy the classroom is responding. Very good. So as I told earlier, the RRDI International Rice Research Institute. So in Sri Lanka, we have a dedicated rice institute in Sri Lanka, Batalakoda. And this is the Mahailupalam, MI, Mahailupalam. Right, so it's also dedicated for the cereals and the pulses. Right, let's move on. Can you identify this crop? Anyone? Sorry, I got disconnected. So what is this crop? It is Sanhem. So it's also a field crop, kind of, but it is mostly grown not for edible, is grown for as a legume crop to fix nitrogen. Sunhem. This is a good source of nitrogen to the soil. So here's a research we did in Kalpitia. So we use sun hemp as a soil enhancer, fertilizer enhancer. Sun hemp, Undernehiria. In Sinhala we call Undernehiria. So you no need to include nitrogen. If you want to organically improve the nitrogen in your soil, you can plant some sun hemp. Right. Now our plan was
become a pod. This flower become a pod.
Yes, yes. See, here are pods. It's become a pod. Very nice pod. It's like a sesame. Exactly. It's become a pod. Right. Now our target is cereal and pulses. Cereal and pulses. So I have put some images of pulses here. That's fine. And these are condiments, onion and chili. We call the red chili. And this is onion. We sometimes call big onion, you know. Right. Can you answer this question? You can text it in the chat. which is a cereal crop. Groundnut, cereal. We give for babies cereal. We also eat cereal. Sunflower, maize, big onion. Shall we go to that breakdown again?
Okay, sir.
Have a good look. Cereal, this category. And pulses, oil crops, spices. Now I'm coming back to the question. So the answer is
C.
C.
answer is C. Good. Answer is C. Right? So maize is a cereal crop. Groundnut is a what a field crop? What type of field crop?
Pulse.
Oil.
Oil. You eat groundnut for oil. When you eat a lot of groundnut, you feel right. Your mouth is like oily. Huh? Oil crop. Groundnut. Sunflower.
Oil.
Yeah, this is oil. You cook from sunflower. The maize is cereal. Big onion,
Condiment.
condiment. Condiments are spices, like for the spices. Okay, let's go further. Right. So these are some images. I'll give you the handout. You can have a look. These are some are not. Most are not in Sri Lanka. Only soybean in Sri Lanka. We don't have mustard even in Sri Lanka.
Sir, groundnut can ratakajud.
Oh, groundnut can ratakaju. Groundnut is ratakaju. Sesame, right? This black brown sesame and this white sesame.
Castor කියන තෙල් එඬරුද?
Correct. Castor calendar. Now in Lanka we had no calendar and now we can't find. Mustard we can grow, but no, we are not growing in Sri Lanka because it is more very large extent, so coming from India.
Lentils from Mysore.
Kalunji, from Mysore. Kalunji black seeds. Jatropha seeds. So remember, we Sri Lankans don't prefer field crops. Why? Can you tell a reason why we don't prefer crops? We won't eat in your meal today, lunch, at your home. What you are going to cook today, tell me? Maybe carrot, maybe pumpkin, vataka, brinjal. And tonight definitely leeks, carrot, fried rice, potato.
Courses.
Why we are not using field crops, field grains? But you know it should come to the meal. Can you tell a reason? In our meals, rarely we have some chickpea, paripu, yes. Dal, yes. Our main course. Dal, yes. Except dal, haupi, morning breakfast for breakfast. Are you like every morning, wow, in your home, shall we cook coffee today? Shall we cook green gram today? Are you in? We are not in that attitude. No, even our kids, when see chickpea, they're like, I have two small kids and we are training them to eat coffee. Okay, so. Please have your personal discussions, mute in your mic. So why is that? Can you tell me? Come on, hurry up. I want to give a tea break.
Not delicious, dull.
Exactly true. Not delicious. Yes, that's one thing. Not delicious, man.
Hard to prepare.
That's how a kid does, man. Coffee, not delicious. True.
Hard to prepare.
Hard to prepare. That's the answer I was expecting. Hard to prepare. We'll put delicious second, but our house, I won't say the ladies because only Asia we have the concept ladies cook, but men's also have to cook. In the cooking process, they take a lot of time. You have to soak it once in the night and then cook it. That is the main issue, hard to prepare. And due to the lifestyle, we are moving out from this. But I think we all eat summer pause, you know, that is at least good. We have what all the cereals, most cereals, but they don't have pulses in that. I can't remember. Green granules, they are no mixed. So cereal and pulses mixed, at least good. But we are going to get sugar if you end up with samaposa, because you don't eat samaposa without
Triposha subsidy.
triposha for the kids, no? So either we should come in products like that. That's what I'm trying to tell. If hard to prepare, a good business idea, you can come up with products like that. So you have to break this. But in India, I'm coming to this, India, they love grains. Love grains. That is the mental attitude we have. We move to out of grains, but they love grains. Their curries are full of grains. With curry, with dry, with fried, tempered, my goodness. So that's the difference. And even the field crop subject at all, it is like too harsh, right? But the World Health Organization has recommended you have to have at least a spoon into your daily meal of lentils, pulses. You should have pulses in your meal.
Protein supplementary.
Yes, it is a protein supplementary, good for your growth, right? And immune. Right. Now still we are in the journey. What are cereals and what are pulses? What are cereals and what are pulses? Right. So let's take a break now. I'll keep the screen here like this and come by maybe 10 minutes.
Okay, sir.
10:40 like, right, okay. Yes. Right, students, welcome back. You had a break. So what are cereals? Let's read this. So you have the screen here. A cereal is any grass, family Poaceae, cultivated for the edible components of its grain. These are produced in large quantities and provide a large amount of food than any other crop. These are therefore termed as staple crops. So now under field crop students,
Recording in progress.
we have a major category called cereal. Now remember, cereals are simply the grains that are taken from grass crops. Grass. Or they are called in family Poaceae, grass plants. Now, did you know? Now let's see the examples for cereal. Here, rice, maize, sorghum, millet. So rice is a grass crop. So today you have to remember that rice is a grass crop. Right? So the rice grains are grains that are coming out of a grass family crop. Maize, sorghum, millet. Now when we call millets are, there are different millets, common millets, foxtail millet, mineri varga. Right? So millets are kurakkang varga, common millet, mineri, foxtail millets, right? So kurakkang types. Sorghum is also kind of the crop is same like a maize crop. Sorghum. You take four. So the main thing is in the cereals, dear students, cereals are a high source of carbohydrate. Remember that. Now you're identifying two important cereals. One is the grains coming out of grass. Number two, they are highly rich with carbohydrates. So all rice, maize, sorghum, millet, they give carbohydrates. But have you heard, when you eat in rice, which rice are good to eat? Now, if all rice have carbohydrates, but sometimes we have a common belief that rice millet is good, isn't it? Even when we compare rice, we prefer certain rice when we grow old. What rice we prefer a lot? Young age, everyone prefer some type of rice. When you grow old, because of this carbohydrate thing, what rice they prefer? So what is the difference in millet and rice? Yes? Right. I will. So look at this diagram, dear students. Look at this diagram. Now, in cereals, now this is a grain. Now this is a grain. Ate. Grain. This is a grain. The grain is covered with a coat. Covered with a coat. We call it a bran. Now this bran is very important in cereals. The bran. So except the bran, the other part, this part, the endosperm, this is the carbohydrate part. Carbohydrate. Now, if I have two rice types, now let's say this is one rice type, and this is another rice type, A, B. Right? Let's say there you have two rice types, and one rice has a bran, a thick bran, Very thick bran. Another one doesn't have a bran. So we call a bran. Which is more healthier?
A.
A. Very good. Any other comments? Chamila? Or Chamila? Nirmal? Vidhi Singha? 173. Which rice is healthier? Which is it, the rice with a bran or rice without a bran? Yeah. Why is that? You know, we call white rice and red rice. So this is actually a red rice. Ratu? This is red rice. Red rice and most of the millets have thick brans. That does not mean maize and sorghums do not have a bran. They do have, but it is not thick. Right? So when there is a bran, yeah, good. When there is a bran, that doesn't digest very soon in our stomach. Then the tendency for producing glucose is less. And then we are safe from diabetes. So just keep in mind, that's why always, even in traditional rice, red rice, they are more health conscious. They are very healthier than the white rice. So bran is existing in cereals. Remember that. Bran is in it. So main source of cereals is carbohydrate. They have proteins and minerals, but main carbohydrate. Okay, let's move on and see. Then what are the legumes or lentils? Pulses. Pulses are coming from which family? Legume family. They are coming from the legume family. So legumes, we know, can fix nitrogen. Now, I told you legumes, there are legumes, but all are not pulses. So some legumes are not edible. That's why. So cowpea, black gram, green gram, black gram, chickpea, soybean, these are pulses. So can you see two different things? Cereals are coming from what family? Cereal crops are belonging to which family?
Legume.
Cereal.
Cereal.
Grass family.
Grass family. Cereal, grass family. Pulses, legume family. So see the difference. Cereal, grass family, pulses, legume family. Right? And pulses have more protein. I will show that later. And the cereals have carbohydrate and a bran. Okay, let's move on. So these are normal definitions, that's fine. Right. Now look at these two images. So from today onwards, when you see a crop, you should know to identify whether it is a cereal crop or a pulse crop. See the cereal crop. Standing, little stand-in type. Right? Can you tell how is the leaves? Leaves are. Can you tell the leaves of a cereal and the pulse? So let's have a comparison. So let's see. Stem. Cereal stem is like, cereal stems are like this. So there is a stem at the bottom and the leaves are coming out of it. Pulses, stems are like they have branched. They are branched. Leaf. How is the leaf? These are quite little long. Long. These leaves,
Siamis.
pardon? Yes, go ahead. These are single and broad. These are longer. These are also these are not long. They both are broad leaf.
සමාන්තර නාරටි වින්‍යාසය.
Right. Yeah, parallel veins. They have parallel veins, and these are having not parallel veins. The veins are like this. The veins. Yeah.
ජාලාකාර නාරටි වින්‍යාසය.
All right. You know the Sinhala one. Good. Roots. If you see the root of this, do they? If you
තන්තු මූල පද්ධතිය.
Okay, thank you. You are right. So in English, what we call the roots are like this. Do they have deep roots in a maize or paddy? No, right? So we call this lateral. Lateral. Their roots, pulses roots, will have a deep root system.
මුදුන් මූල පද්ධතියක් තියෙනවා.
Deep root system. So we call a deep root. And now because it's a legume, so are pulses legumes? And what do you think? Okay, here's a question.
Nodules, root nodules.
So it is nodules. So they because pulses are legumes, they have root nodules too. Nodules. Nodules. Right. So this is called the crop physiology or crop morphology. Looking at the branch pattern, leaf pattern architecture, you can identify the cereals and pulses. Again, we are repeating. Cereals are grass or legumes. Cereals are what? So go back to your back garden today and take a grass. Take a grass and look how the grass is. That is a cereal crop, right? And I don't think you can find a green gram plant in your back garden. If you have, good. And look at a pulse. Right? Okay. So here's another diagram. So diploma level, we try to give more terms for you to understand. So we call so these are cereals and these are legumes. So we call this is a leaf. So this is a leaf. Okay. In this, tell me, what is a leaf? This is, tell me, I am putting numbers. Number A or number B. What is number A, number B? Letter A, letter B. So there is a question, excuse me, can't be called as trifoliate for pulse plants? We can call trifoliate, but that is not much common, trifoliate. Because of this leaf shape. But when you call in like that, be careful, maybe all the pulses are not trifoliate. So remember, when we are sometimes identifying characters general to a certain group, that should be common for all. So trifoliate can be major, but I'm not sure whether all the plants, for example, how about pulses like chickpea, and all that, are there trifoliate? That is the issue. So if you all are okay, you can use trifoliate, right? Okay, now they tell me A is what, B is what in this diagram. So A we call, yes, B is a leaf. B is a leaf. Then what is A? A is a, anyone knows what is A? A is we call, so in a leaf, you sometimes, this is common, in the leaf you see small sub-leaves, something like that. We don't call it sub-leaf, we call leaflets. 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 But the leaf is where the whole, so what is this thing? What do you call this? Did you do a little crop physiology class? Yeah?
Stem.
Yes, but
Stem.
this is not the stem actually. If this is the stem,
Marati.
this one I'm asking about. Where the leaf is attached to the stem, we call it petiole. Remember that, petiole. P-E-T-I-O, petiole. Now, when we come to cereal, this is little different in the leaf, the parts of the leaf. Today afternoon, go to your back garden and take a grass and try to remove a leaf. Can you see a clear petiole in grass crops? Do you see a clear petiole in a grass crops? No, no. Have you seen a clear petiole, narratia, where the stem is going? No. It is kind of a wrap thing. The leaf is like this, it is wrap. And this is the leaf. We call this both leaves, but we call this one blade. And we call this sheath or shell.
It grows as a shrub.
Yeah, sheath. Leaf sheath. S-H-E-L, the leaf sheath and leaf blade. Remember this. So another difference in cereals and legumes are there is a leaf sheath and a leaf blade. In legumes or pulses, you find leaflets, or as your colleague said, trifoliates in a leaf with a petiole. Right? So, and roots are lateral. There's no main stem. In cereal, there's no main stem. It's all sometimes bushes, but here there is a stem and a deep root. Right, let's move on. Here's another question. What is the answer? Some are saying B, some are saying A. Now you know more about cereals. Cereals, they are Poaceae, grass family, right? They have grains with a gram megathea, the gram. Then what else? They have leaf sheaths, leaf blades. They have lateral roots. Think about those. Their leaves don't have petioles. So with the leaf thing, I will go back here. See, they don't have leaf petiole. See, they have leaf petiole. Right. So thank you. Yes, good. Now all are going correct. So answer for this is millet.
B.
Yes. B. Millet. All kind of kurakans. Millet. Right. Soybean is oil crop. Cowpea is a pulse. Sesame is also oil crop.
Is this like barley?
Barley. Barley. Under what comes? Barley. Barley. I have not seen a barley crop. Now let's give a try. Millet is not barley. Remember. Millet is like kurakan. So as we got a question, I'm very happy. Now let's look at the crop and see whether it is a cereal or what, right? Barley. I'm going to search barley here. Only malt crop. What do you think barley is? See? Is it a cereal or is it a legume or pulse? Pulse crop. Look at the crop physiology.
Cereal.
Why do we say cereal? Hold on, I'll ask another student. Shehari 222 why do we call barley a cereal? What are the clues you get?
It has a lateral leaflet.
Lateral leaf blade. They don't have leaflets. Lateral veins, lateral blades, leaf blades. Leaflets were in pulses.
Pulses.
So as we see this crop, see this image here, you can see it's closer to like our paddy, no? Where's that image? See.
Similar to paddy.
Similar to the
For
paddy.
the chicks.
So architecture is similar to paddy. So it has blades, leaf blade, leaf sheath, right? So we can call it as a cereal. Good. This cereal or pulse. Very good. That's a very good skill. Next, can you answer this, please? Yep. All right. So we have answers, or many are saying C, 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 and B, and
Answer
B.
C.
Huh?
Answer is C.
Let's see. Good. Thank you. Let's go one by one. So I think by giving these questions like this, I allow you to think. That's what I want in the class. Select the correct statement. Pulses are from Poaceae family. Pulses.
Not
Okay.
Fabaceae family.
Fabaceae or Leguminosae.
Legume.
Legume. You can't say Fabaceae. Fabaceae. Yes, sometimes Fabaceae all are Leguminosae. Yeah, that's fine. So Leguminosae is more appropriate. So pulses are legume family, and Poaceae are the cereals. So check in the note. It's there. So pulses are from Poaceae. Wrong. It should be Leguminosae. Leguminosae. My spelling is never wrong. Leguminosae. Right. This is wrong. Cereal crops can fix nitrogen. Okay. Now you know some crops
Yeah.
can fix nitrogen.
Legumes. Pulses.
Leguminous crops can fix nitrogen. So we know leguminaceous or legumes, so-called legumes, in the system, root system, we have nodules like this. Nodules we call root.
In the nodules, live rhizobium.
Very good. Very good. In these nodules, you have rhizobium. Bacteria. Rhizobium bacteria. So this bacteria can fix nitrogen in the soil.
In cyanobacteria.
Yes. So it's a very good thing. So naturally in the air, what the nitrogen in the air can be fixed by the root nodule bacteria into the soil. So it's like you put urea. So that can be done by, so this nitrogen fixing abilities having for cereals? No.
No, pulses.
So it should be pulses. Legumes. Those are wrong. Pulse crops have tillers. Pulse. So when you remember pulses, you should remember legumes.
Bruna
So legumes, when you remember legumes, so let's go to an image. See these two images. See the pulse. Pulse. Remember the pulse. Pulse are like green gram, black gram. The question was, pulses have tillers. So what are these tillers? Tillers are actually
Bruna Poshada.
no, not the Bruna portion. See this image here. Tillers are kind of daughter suckers coming from the same root system. If you see a paddy plant, you plant only one single seedling, one plant. But after a few months, you get bushes, daughter suckers. So those are tillers. This ability has only in cereals or where there are lateral.
Is this a propagule?
Kind of a propagule, daughter suckers, so kind of a propagule. So tillers are like this. This is the plant. So this is the plant. So when the plant one day gets mature, you get other kind of stems, like suckers coming out of it. So we call this phylum. And this is the mother plant. This is the mother plant and those are the tillers. But in legumes, they don't have that. Legumes, because it has a deep root system, legume will have one stem, but branches. 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 Got it? What? Okay, sorry, students. So pulse crops have tillers, wrong. Cereals have tillers. So you should know this biology before you do rocket science, right? The initial elementary things, right? So that's why we are teaching the basics first, then you can understand the rest later. Fifth, so this is a wrong. Pulses don't have tillers. Cereal crops require more water. I know some maybe understood this very well. Some just gave a, we call kana shot, or just a tryout. Cereal crops require more water. So that is, seems the correct answer. Can anyone justify that? Why it is correct? Why the pulse don't need more water?
Seldom of water.
Pardon?
Seldom of water.
I didn't get you again. Sorry. Sad amount.
අඩු ජල අවශ්‍ය බෝග.
Cereal crops require more water. All right. Thank you. Any other guesses? Kaumadi 049. What's your opinion? Why cereal crops require more now? Both need water. That is perfectly okay. But that, in other words, the cereals always need intermittent water. Always, sometimes they need water. They can't. They need to be irrigated more. That's the point. Yes.
It is a rain-fed cultivation.
No. Now we started by saying we are depending on tanks and canal. We are not depending on rain. We are depending on surface irrigated water. But why then the cereal crops require more water? Let's see someone else. Thank you for your answer. Anuranga, 116, Anuranga.
Evapotranspiration is high.
In cereal crops. So in okay, evapotranspiration high. So pulse crops is also having broader leaves. That's not so strong, the answer. You can't tell like that. No. Okay, good try, but that's not the correct answer. Who else? Just think about the biology, physiology of the crops.
Photosynthesis, C4 and C3.
Okay, good answer, good thinking. So if you say that, actually photosynthesis, so C4 are highly effective. Yes, C4 plants. Cereals are, most of the grass plants are C4. So that means they can tolerate, so they're effective photosynthesis than legumes. But water, think about water. Now I help you to think.
ගොඩක් දුරට යන්නේ නැති නිසා ජලය අවශෝෂණය කරගන්න බැරි.
මොකද්ද ගොඩක් දුරට යන්නේ?
මුල් පද්ධතිය.
Exactly. So who is that? Deshan. So cereal crops. So when you think about water, don't think about leaves. Water is absorbed by the roots. Something in the roots is doing this. Now, I did a diagram here. I earlier did a diagram. That's why you have to come to the live class. I did the diagram. Cereal crops have what kind of root system? Cereal have
Lateral root system.
Lateral root system. They don't have, so they have lateral root. Lateral. Pulse have
Deep root system.
deep root system. So now which crop can survive more? Deep root. So the deep root can go searching water in the deep layers, but lateral root can't. So cereal crops require more water. Yes. So that's why the water should be always available in the surface for the cereal crops. This is fine. The water, if the water level is low, it can still pulses can stand. That is why grasses suddenly get withered with no water. But pulses, legumes are very harsh crops. Very harsh crops. They have deep root systems. They have a lot of hair. So there are other things. Those are in the degree level we are learning. So just overall idea, because they have a deep root system, they don't need much water. So if you have a land in a very dry zone and you don't have much canals, tanks around that land, best option, what to plant? Cereal or pulses?
Pulses.
Pulses. See, you need to know the botany of the crop to decide what farm you have to do. Okay, good. Let's move on. This is not the session still. I have not started the lesson today, actually. That's fine. You can do some self-learning. But I have always want to make the students aware about the basics. They should understand it very concrete. Then you can do the rest later by yourself. So what is the correct answer here again? Can you try?
D. Answer D.
Others, select the correct answer. Ishan, Ishini, Nilupuli. Saubhagya, Manike, 162. What is your answer? Saubhagya is not there. Rice crops have leaflets. Wrong. Rice crops have blades and shades. And leaf sheath, no? Cowpea crops have leaf sheath. Wrong. They have leaflets and petioles, no? And petiole. Sorghum crops produce tillers. Sorghum crops produce tillers. Sorghum is a pulse or a cereal.
False.
After so many hours of lecturing, sorghum is a pulse or a cereal.
False.
Pulses, cereal, pulses. Come on, students. Look at the sorghum crop. Have you seen a sorghum crop? Ekane prashne.
Sorghum crop is cereal.
Metin, I think I have included, so let's go and search. So what it looks like. What it looks like. Does look like a legume pulse?
Cereal.
Cereal. Now please, once learn, change your whole attitude. That's called wisdom. Right? Once learn, if you are again back in your normal track, that means not wise. So learn to change your attitude, change your knowledge, and embrace the new knowledge. Adjust it, product format. Right? So now remember, sorghums are cereals, not pulses. Okay, so if it is a cereal, sorghum crops produce tillers. Can they produce tillers?
Yes.
Yes. Correct. So this is correct. Green gram is a coarse grain. Now what was a coarse grain? Coarse grains were cereals, another name for cereals, because they have a gram. Can you remember I told there's a gram, some have the grams.
Gram pulses.
So coarse grain is, green gram is not a coarse grain, it is a pulse. Pulses don't have grams. Why the rice is having a red color? Because of that gram, right? Okay, I'm just moving fast now, right? Okay, what is the question here? So the question must be, I have not put the question, what is a pulse? A, what is it? Is it a pulse or a cereal?
A is a cereal.
Cereal. B is a pulse.
Pulse.
So always you see the pulse have mostly the pods. Cereals have, we call inflorescences. These are inflorescences. Inflorescences. Pushpamanjari. Or we call panicles. Panicle. We call this a panicle. Panicle. Pulses have pods. They have pods. Panicle. Right. So go through the note. Here's some other summaries. So cereals are edible composed of grain, corn, grass. And the other one is grain. Pulses are from legume family. So these are some comparisons. Just read them through you. Here are some images. Cereal crops. See, in most of all the cereal crops, the grain is in the top, including rice. We call it in the panicle. So we call this one, dear students, what? Panicle. We call this part panicle, not pinnacle, panicle. Panicle. Yeah. Have anyone seen the flower of a rice crop? Goyang gahe mal. Very beautiful, right? There are a lot of flowers. The inflorescence, the panicle in there. So then once they get pollinated, it turns into a grain and a panicle comes out. Right. So far we now discussed about the cereals. So let's move on to one major cereal, our staple food, rice. Now, I know some of you or most of you have maybe rice fields at your home or around your home, you have seen. So, dear students, a rice plant, as many other plants, we identify, so we call this one as so the whole crop cycle from here to here, we call the crop
life cycle.
Yes, crop cycle or crop life cycle.
Annuals.
Yeah, crop life cycle is here, but we don't say annuals. These are seasonals. All right. So these are seasonal crops. So seasonal. So annuals are less than. So seasonal crops. Seasonal. We usually call annuals which have 1 year. These are not 1 year. So most are less than 1 year. Maximum 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. Not rice. Others are 6 months or 5 months, 4 months, 5 months. Seasonal crops. Now the main thing is, remember, can you see, dear students? There are 3 stages in a crop development. Crop cycle 1, 2, and 3. So why we are telling this? The agronomy, to maintain a field crop, to cultivate a field crop, you should focus on these 3 stages. So the first stage is called
Vegetative,
good,
reproductive,
and ripen. So all management practices happens on these 3 phases. So for easiness in agriculture, so if we start from the seed, so this is a seed. This is a seed. We sow it, right? And then sometimes we take seedlings. So when we go and establish this seedling, we maybe establish it tomorrow. Let's say tomorrow. So we call DAP. What is DAP? 0. Then we call DAP maybe 7 days after planting. So how we track the age of the plant after the day we plant? So you can go, in this case, how many days it will take? So let's see this. Initial seedling stage, 60 to 100 stage, then it must be, let's say 100, then 30. So 130. So some varieties are 3-month varieties, 3 months. So 3-month varieties are 30, 30, 30. You can say 90 days. So it takes 90 days for the crop cycle. So whole 90 days, that means it is going through vegetation stage, reproductive phase, and maturity stage. Ripening stage is also called maturity stage. Remember this. Maturity. Maturity stage. Good. And you no need to remember these each stage's name. These are degree level. Just for your knowledge, I included it for your interest. So paddy, if you take paddy, you can plant seedlings, or you can sow the seeds directly. No, you call it broadcasting. Like this, when you do, you call it broadcasting. If you plant seedlings,
මේ
we call,
phases නේද sir?
pardon?
Phases නේද? Phase.
The growth phases. Yes. So we can call these growth phases. That's fine. Or stages. STAG, stages. Right? So in each stage, there are sub-stages also. Sub-morphological differences. So that's what I have shown here, right? What I'm telling you, repeating you again, you no need to know that in detail, but that is for your knowledge. So the plant we establish is a seedling, then it becomes tillers because it is a cereal, tillers come. And how a paddy plant becomes big, first the tillers come and the stems, first the bushes come and the stems get long. Stems get long. Sorry, that was wicked. The stem get long, elongated. Then panicle initiation, there are things like that. Booting, flowering, milking, dough stage, maturity stage. So maturity stage is the stage ready to harvest. Milking stage, we call the seeds, the grains have liquid kind of a, like a milky, sweet liquid in the grains. If you go in a milking stage or into the field, you can break the grain and taste it. It's so sweet, like a glucose liquid. Dough is, it's same like the flour becomes hard, dough. And then maturity stage, right? So this is how a grain, finally grain is produced. So management practices are different for each stage. You can go to the Department of Agriculture website. I will show you that. And you have assignment actually under that. Then you can know all this fertilizer requirements, days after planting, all this from that. So most of the Sri Lanka, in the dry zone, this paddy is planted as irrigated. So irrigated means through canal and tanks. But Kurunegala and down south, they plant rice as rain-fed. Rain-fed, right? Right. Now let's look at some statistics to know our country situation, our country condition. So look at this, students. Paddy production 2020. This is the latest statistics we have in Sri Lanka. 2020 actually. So we are in 2023 now. So this is, you can see this in AgStat. There's a booklet called AgStat. I will put in your LMS. Sown extent in Maha and Yala. Can you tell me, according to the extent, hectare, more rice is cultivated? What is the extent? Zone, zone extent means you broadcast or you cultivate. Extent means the area. Right. Looking at Mahayala. Now, do you know Mahayala? Everyone knows Mahayala? Okay, if you don't know, that's fine. Mahayala means in Sri Lanka, if you are depending on rain, especially, or if you're depending on open field conditions, we have two major rain seasons, Maha Kanya, Yala Kanya. When is Maha? Just to recall, Maha Monokala. What is the period of Maha?
October.
October to October, no, December. It comes December. December to
February.
February. Good. Yala?
May to September.
March, April, May to September. May, June, July. Not May to September also. It goes May, February, March, April, May. No. So it goes 3 months. December, January, February. Then March, April, May, June, July, August. So mid of May. So June, July, August, like that. So 3 months. So we get more rain. We get more rain in Maha or Yala?
Yes,
Maha.
monsoon rain.
No, we get more rain in Maha. Remember that. If I ask Maha, which direction the rain? So this is depending on, just for your knowledge on, for your knowledge. If again I draw Sri Lanka, just remember this. We get the rain, dear students, from 2 directions in the year.
Monsoon rain.
Monsoon rains, that's correct. Monsoon. Right? From these 2 directions. So this is northern. This is north.
East.
And this is south.
West.
Now Maha means which direction, right?
Northeast.
East.
Good. This is Maha. And Yala is southwest. So remember that. Okay, now the question was, can you look at the Maha and the Yala extents? So which season they have cultivated in Sri Lanka? We usually cultivate in large, Maha or Yala. CEV in 2020, that's we say. Hectares, around 7 lakh hectare or 700,000.
Maha.
Maha, no? Maha. Can anyone tell why? Why Maha cultivation is high always than the Yala? Why Maha cultivation is higher than the Yala? Yes. Think.
In the period terms.
I didn't hear some. Simple. Maha, now you said more rain. So actually, although it is irrigated by tunnel and canals, the tanks should be filled by the rain. So during Maha, there is plenty of water, and during Jala, there is less water. So usually there is a concept, students. So remember, as you are learning field crops, this is in field crops. During the Maha, if you cultivate, Maha, if let's say this is your field, they cultivate 100% of the field during Maha. But Yala, most of the time, they drop down less than 50. So they cultivate only 50%, sometimes less than that, due to the water availability. I'm repeating that again. In field crops, because most of our Sri Lankan field crop farmers depend on rain-fed or canal and tank irrigation, Maha season water is plenty available. They cultivate full land. But they in the Yala, they cultivate half of their land, 50%. And the rest, they sometimes leave it or sometimes cultivate vegetables, something. Clear? So this is the agriculture system. If you want to improve, you can improve. Maybe you can introduce sprinkle irrigation. Maybe you can introduce another method of cultivation. Because yeah, we are talking a nation that we are having a very fertile land. We are having bountiful of resources, but we have still not come up with a plan how to cultivate when we have harsh times, when off season, like Yala. But Israel, countries like that, they have come up with solutions. So think, right? Right. So then harvest index and all that. Yield. So this is the yield. Yield is the most important factor. So remember this value, 4,000 kilogram, or roughly we call it 5 metric tons. 5 metric tons. Paddy yield is actually 5 metric ton or 4.5, 4.8 metric tons per hectare. That is the yield. Now, what is the difference of production and yield? Production and yield. Production, yield. Production.
production
Okay, thank you. Now you look at this unit. See the unit here. T, tons. This is kilogram divided by hectare. So yield is, so if you, from your land, how much kilo you got is production. How much kilo you got from a square area, unit area, is called yield.
ඒකක ප්‍රමාණයකට ලැබෙන අස්වැන්න.
Right. So now you should learn that is yield. That is called yield. Right in your book. Yield. You know, either Tamil or Sinhala, when you are learning, even I did in my undergrads, you make a small book, write these new words and study those. Now, you don't have exam in diploma, but when you are in a degree level, you can memorize because you have to write exam in English. Yield is this and memorize. I had a small glossary book.
Vocabulary.
Vocabulary book, correct. So what is important, yield or production? What is important?
Production.
As a commercial farm. Any other comments? Yield or production?
production.
Okay, 2 said production. Ola said production, or any other comments? What is the important as a commercial producer, commercial farmer? Production or yield is important. To help that, I will give this example.
Yield.
Okay, one said yield. What is important? Let's see. So here are two farmers. Farmer A, farmer B. This guy has 2 hectares. This guy has 4 hectares. So they cultivate. So, okay. Let's see paddy. And this guy harvests, right? This guy harvests 10,000 kilos of rice. 10,000 kilos of rice. This guy harvests, right? 15,000 or 16,000 kilos of rice. Right. Which farmer has done best? Which farmer has performed best? Right. Now, which farmer has done best?
A. Production.
So the farmer who has produced 16,000 kilos or the farmer who has produced 10,000 kilos? So shall we calculate production and yield now? So this farmer, yeah, okay. Production, let's calculate production. Production. How much production here? 10,000. Ne? Just the total kilos you got. I said from the land, total kilo. This much, how much production he has done? 16,000. Wow. So he has produced a lot. Very nice. Yield. How much yield here? Yield, how to calculate?
16,000.
No, this farmer A. How to calculate yield? Kilogram you have to divide by the area.
Area 2 hectare. 5,000.
5,000. 5,000 kilo per hectare. Let's see this person yield.
16,000 kilogram divided by 4 hectare. 4,000 kilogram per hectare.
So who has done best? So the answer is student. Yeah.
A.
That's right. The answer is A. A has done the best. So remember, that's the difference of production, and that's why our countries never develop it. So before I calculated, I asked the same question, and majority said production. We always looking at the quantity. That is wrong. By looking at the quantity, how much harvest you get in the end of this crop doesn't give any value. It will give a big number, but the correct figure comes by converting it into yield. You have to always evaluate yield. If you evaluate yield in our farm fields, it will be pathetic. how much kilograms you can produce per unit area. So although A produced 10,000, his yield is 5,000. So he has done a good job. But this person B, farmer B, had 4 hectares. He couldn't. So according to that, he should get more. So according to the ratio, from 4 hectare, he should get more. He has got, but that is not enough. 16,000 is not enough. That's what it says. Got it? So it should go more high. See how you can evaluate? So we should learn to quantitatively evaluate our performance, not just by the production. It's same like our plate of rice. Reduction, not nutritious. All right? Our plate is highly productive, but not nutritious. So we have to change our heads. We have to think about yield, not production. Clear? I think it's clear, right? Good. So when you go to these charts, our yield is quite okay, right? Production varies here and there. So see, although the extent goes down, see the best example, see in Yala extent has gone to 3,000 hectares, 300,000 hectares. But we have maintained our yield. That's fine. And then see if you give the production, you think, oh my goodness, from 3 million tons, it has dropped to 1 million tons. No, it looks like a drop. But see the production yield, it's more higher. 4.8, 4,008. Right. So this other chart, you can have a look by your own. Rice imports. This is 2020. I don't know, now the figures are very high. We can understand wheat, but we also import rice, see? So how much? So tons, 24,000 or 24,000 tons. And it has dropped to 15,000. So just get an idea what is happening in Sri Lanka. Right? This one you can have a look by your own. So let's have a look at this chart, dear students. So this is a chart of where rice is produced in Sri Lanka. So major, minor, rain-fed means major irrigation canal, minor irrigation canals, and the rain-fed irrigation method. So can you see who is depending on tank and canal largely? Major canal, major irrigation system. Which district depends a lot? So as I see, I thought Hambantota doesn't have irrigation canal. So no, it is a less amount. Ampara. See, Ampara, Polonnaruwa, and Anuradhapura. That's true. So they have tanks. Right? And even the circle is larger in these 3 areas. So these are the major rice production areas: Ampara, Polonnaruwa, and Anuradhapura. Bettikala also comes, Trincomalee a little bit, and then Kurunegala. But Kurunegala, the issue is Kurunegala doesn't have tanks. Well, no. Kurunegala, there's one tank in the town, but not that. For agriculture purposes, don't have. So most Kurunegala agriculture is rain-fed, very pathetic, rain-fed. So, but still, there's a high production. I wish if you can go and visit a paddy land or field in Ampara, Polonnaru area. Huge. Anyone from Ampara today joining? Polonnaru? Anuradhapura even?
I live in Ampara, sir.
Ampara. Are you closer to a paddy land?
Yes.
Very nice. If we had time, I could have told to take a photo and send us. So how is the situation today? Now I think they have sown or they are cultivating. What is the situation there? Can you see the crops? Or maybe yes. Can you see the crops in the fields?
Yes.
Yes, right. Good. I think they are now started for Yalla. This is the Yalla season going on. Good. Can you name some rice varieties, students? What you eat daily? You have red rice, white rice. Yes, that is a Samba Basmati. And sometimes BG 300, BG 354. Right? There are different rice varieties. So get to know some names when you go to the market. Right. So let's check. Click. Let me see whether I have a clip for you. So rice cultivation is an easy method, but I know we have made it very hard by giving more conditions, more rules, but it is easy.
Number one, not so
So let's watch a clip of rice production.
Want to achieve a better harvest or perhaps a bigger income? Follow the Atlas Fertilizer package of technology for rice. Produces healthier rice plants and a plentiful yield. Quality and abundant harvest creates better income. Land preparation would take about 3 to 4 weeks. Flood the field with water to soften the soil. This is also to
flood the field with water because we have to plow, you have to soften the soil.
Avoid unwanted weeds from growing. Filling the field with.
So it's like we are trying to make such a big field. Now we have to make it so soft sand because remember paddy is a cereal, no? That means it is having lateral roots, need more water. So we are trying to make the bed more comfortable to the crop. But we don't do like this to the pulses. Pulses are harsh crops, they are deep roots.
Water can be rain-fed or by irrigation. Plow the land either by using a hand tractor or a carabao attached with a plow. This is done to turn over the soil and bury weeds as well as the remains of the previous crops.
So you might wonder why they always plow. You have maybe heard turning the soil. Again, you pond, we call ponding. Ponding. And again plow it. So this is all done again to soften and also to turn the roots, the weeds, turn them upside down and allow the sun to sometimes destroy and birds to take it. Now, If you have another method to remove the weeds, you don't need to do this, right? So now you are in a diploma level. If you learn about modern technology, you can go soilless also. So these are traditional ways. Either you can think new, innovative ways than this.
Allowing these materials to be incorporated into the soil and to be decomposed. When the land has been plowed, harrow the fields twice at a 1-week interval. This is done to smooth.
So plow, after that harrowing. Harrowing means you break the big clots. Katakadana, you break the big clots, smoothing the soil particles.
When the land has been plowed, harrow the fields twice at a 1-week interval. This is done to smoothen the soil and to achieve better tilth for a better growth of the rice plant. The field then should be leveled evenly using a wooden...
What they're doing this? What is this? Leveling. Now why you need to level? What will happen if don't level? They're making a sunken bed, kind of. If it is not level, it will be like this inside the bed. So the plant's growth is very even in this case. In this case, the plant's growth is not even. It will be, these will be big plants, these are small plants. Got it? So to get an even water supply, you have to level it.
plank or leveler. This is to make sure that the field is flat and for water to be evenly distributed in all parts of the field. Planting can be done in two ways, either by transplanting
after land preparation, now planting. So there are two ways they will show you. So planting, it's called, one is transplanting, another one is sowing. See what are those differences?
pre-grown seedlings in seedbeds or by direct seeding. Planting can be done in two ways, either by transplanting pre-grown seedlings in seedbeds or by direct seeding. For direct seeding, pre-germinate the seeds by submerging the seeds in water for about 24 hours. Then incubate the seeds for another 24 hours. Broadcast then the seeds evenly throughout the field. Drain the field from 0 to 9 days after sowing to have good seedling emergence. For transplanting, prepare a small portion of the field for a wet bed. Preparation of seed beds are done simultaneously or even before land preparation. This is where the seedlings will be grown for 15 to 21 days before it can be uprooted and transplanted. Maintain around 2 to 3 centimeters water depth to prevent hardening of the soil during seedling pulling. Uproot rice seedlings for transplant by holding 2 to 3 seedlings close to the root, then gently pull out the seedlings towards you. Rice seedlings are now ready for transplant. Transplant uprooted seedlings manually by planting them in rows with 20 by 20 centimeters.
This is the most productive way. You can get high yield in this way. But pathetically, most of Sri Lankan, they follow the direct seeding, sowing, because we are targeting production, kilograms per hectare, kilograms for the total kilogram. Farmers don't think about yield, productivity, or the kilogram per unit area. So some message you have to take to the farmers is to think about this. It is hard, yes, but high productive.
Centimeter spacing at a depth of 2 to 3 centimeters. The quantity of fertilizer to be applied can be attained through the Atlas Rice Crop Manager. Atlas Rice Crop Manager, or RCM, also provides farmers with personalized guidelines depending on their rice variety and location. Broadcast fertilizer evenly into the field. This provides for nutrients needed by the rice plant in the early stage of growth, or the tillering stage. Late application will slow down the growth of the rice plant and will reduce yield. Controlling the emergence of weeds be done as needed by spraying herbicide. Spraying can also be done before planting to prevent further development of weeds.
Now looking at the plants, which stage are they now? What do you think? Which stage is this stage? Can you remember 3 stages I showed you? What are the 3 stages? Vegetation, reproductive, and ripening or maturity. Which stage is this stage called?
Vegetation.
Vegetation. Seedling, tillering stage. So vegetation stage. Good.
The quantity of yield. This provides for nutrients needed by the rice plant in the early stage of growth, or the tillering stage. Late application will slow down the growth of the rice plant and will reduce yield. Controlling the emergence of weeds be done as needed by spraying herbicide. Spraying can also be done before planting to prevent further development of weeds. Top dress is done when the rice plant is reaching its panicle initiation stage. This is about 35 to 55 days after planting, depending on the rice variety used. Apply top dress into the field evenly. Top dress provides nitrogen and potassium, plus sulfur, calcium, and chlorine. With these nutrients present in top dress, rice plants have a strengthened resistance against pests and diseases and will survive unfavorable weather, all leading to better yield. Applying top dress too late can result in decreased yield and poor harvest. Pests can be prevented by monitoring the fields regularly. Early detection of possible pests and diseases is important to control these before causing damage. At the instance of a pest and disease incidence, consult an agronomist on how to address the problem. Water must be maintained at 3 to 5 centimeters throughout to avoid emergence of weeds. 1 week before the expected harvest time, drain the field if there is still any standing water to hasten uniform grain maturity and facilitate harvest and post-harvest operations. Rice crops must be harvested when 80 to 85% of the grains are ripened or have a golden yellow color. Harvesting can be done manually using sickles and scythes, or mechanically with the use of a mechanical harvester. Harvesting the crop on time is very important to maximize yields and grain quality. Crops harvested too early will have grains that break easily and a poor milling recovery. If crops are harvested late, grains may fall from the panicles, leading to losses.
So That's a good clip to understand the production of rice cultivation steps. So let's go through. I will end the lecture at 1, so bear with me for a while, dear students. So these you now saw that, right? These are, so we call nurseries. For the rice, you can make wet bed nursery, dry bed nursery, and these parachute methods. You might have seen those. So this is a like summary of the crop establishment. Then maize. Maize is, so this is a maize crop, another cereal crop. So it also has vegetative, reproductive, and maturity. So no need to memorize this, but for your understanding. Only thing, the maize, you should know, the crop grows straight, right, straight up. And the most economically important cobs, we call cobs, comes in the nodes, or where the leaf sheath is there, from there. And the male, can you tell where is the male and female part? So you have seen this tussle. So if I put A, and in the cobs you have seen something here, B. So what is the male? Where is the male and female part? Any ideas? That's for your understanding. What is A? A is male or female, B is male or female. Okay, I will tell you. So next time when you go near to a maize crop, if you have this tassel still, flowers on the top, remember these are male flowers. The pollens are there. So it's like a crown over the head. So you have to shake that, or it should be shaken by the wind. Then the pollens fall down. And here you get the female flower, female receptors, female. The stigma, we call stigma. So what happens is, in a cob, if I enlarge this, students, if I enlarge this is very interesting. So the cob, beside the road, you have cobs, ne, Tambalabon Khanda. So the cob is like this, is covered by the leaves. It is having, you can see, now what you eat. The things that you eat after boiling the maize, badiringu karal, the comb is inside. And you can see when it is in the tree, you have a lot of hairs like this, no? Am I true? Yeah, no? What are these hairs? These are female flowers. Each hair is connected to a seed inside, grain. So when the tassel, the flower, the male flower, sheds the pollen, that part A, this part A sheds the pollens fall down to this female flowers, the female. And this is the male. Then only these are getting pollinated. So this is called pollination. Now you must see some cobs are not filled properly. Some are combs are empty, no grains inside. That is because pollination not happened properly. Right? So naturally the tassel is up. So when for the wind or the bees come and pollinate, they should touch this female end, the end of the hair. That is how germination happens. Beautiful, right? So next time, to maximize your harvest or the yield, you can allow more pollination. And the tussle should not be broken during the reproductive phase. If this tussle is broken, how to get pollens, right? So careful. Then it is becoming ripened like this. See, you can see the ripened cobs, and this we call it hair. Female hair coming the things coming out, and it gets fades off, and we guys go and boil and eat it. Okay, that's maize. So just for your understanding and your knowledge, can you name what are the large producing areas in Sri Lanka? Maize. See this map and let me know, please. Maize production highest. So the red bar. There are distinctive four red bars. From that, who gives number one? Start the number one here.
Monaragala.
Monaragala. Good. So maize, remember, as a student, you do DAPM. From today, you will know in Sri Lanka where is the largest maize producing district. Monaragala. Second?
Anuradhapura.
Anuradhapura, no? Good. Then I think Badulla, no?
Ampara.
Ampara 9,000, I can see. Badulla has 13,000. Interesting. Even I thought maybe some areas of Badulla, Ampara comes fourth, according to the map here. See, this is 13,000. This is 9,000. This is in 2020. Ampara comes fourth. So Monaragala and Anuradhapura, the top producing districts. And the other one is Purakka. Right. This one only. Then our next part is grain legumes. I will take a small intro. So we were talking about cereals. Those are cereals, Poaceae. Grain legumes, remember most of the students said about Fabaceae, that is true, or Leguminaceae plants. They have a distinctive flower. Like this, we call these parts of the flower, we call them, so this is a flower. What are the parts of the flower we call? We call these petals. Malpeti, petals. Petals. In Tamil, I don't know, sorry about that, but the petals.
Mukutaya.
Mukutta, right. So Mukutta, Tamil, petals. So when you go to graduate level, you can understand there are names. We call stand, keel, wing, the petals also type. So if you see a yellow petal like this, that is most the Leguminaceae crop. Remember, that's a Leguminaceae crop. That's the idea you should know. Or Fabaceae crop. The name Fabaceae has now turned into Leguminaceae, remember, right? So now the most preferred name is Leguminosae. So Leguminaceae crops don't have that inflorescence, don't have that panicle. They have single flowers where they turn into pods. Remember that, they turn into pods. So this is the nitrogen fixing thing. You can read this when I put the handout. So in the air, you got N2, and this rhizobium bacteria helps to convert that N2 into NH3, mineral nitrogen, as a mineral into the soil. So by whom? By rhizobium or bradyrhizobium. Rhizobacter we call, no? So if you take the life cycle of a legume, you have seeds, they germinate it, sprout, Then the leaf growth, flowering, the vegetative. So this is also can divide as vegetation, so not an issue. So this part we can call vegetative phase. This one you can call reproductive phase. And this one, sorry, reproductive.
After that, maturity.
Yeah, sorry. Pot filling maturity. Ripening. No, pot filling also can be reproductive for that. And then this is mature. Or ripen. All right. So you can identify distinct 3 phases in any crop. That is not only for paddy, for any crop, even fruits. You have that. 1, 2, 3. So these are theory. You can learn this. So, and also you should know some scientific names. So there is a quiz I will open for you. There's two tasks these students. One is a assignment and one is a quiz. 1 week is enough. Assignment you can do today afternoon. Quiz you can do the whole week. So assignment is you have to go to the Department of Agriculture website and make a summary. I will show you. Small work. Vignan give you that Vigna Mungo, glycine max. So here's a photos, cowpea plant, the green gram, and the black gram. So the black gram pods are turning upwards. That is a crop characteristic. It's upwards. Cowpea. Easily you can grow cowpea at your home. Anyone can grow cowpea. Green gram. So what is black gram? Undu. Black gram is undu. Green gram is moong, no? So I think these are this theory. You need to so when talking about pulses, I found this fact sheet. This one. These are nice facts. So see, legume pulses. You can read that. So let's have a look where green gram is grown largest. The green bar. So green gram, can you tell me? Green gram.
Monoragala.
Monoragala number 1. Yeah, no. Okay, number 2. 1008, 1006.
Kurunagala.
No, good. Then comes
Mantota.
so now maybe you can joke your partners or the partner to be. If it is from Monoragala, you can say, bring us some maize. If from Mantota, bring us some green gram. If from Ampara, bring us some paddy. Right? Agriculture jokes. Okay, cowpea.
Anuradhapura.
Anuradhapura, right. Good. Then come
Vaunia.
Ampara.
Vaunia.
Vaunia. No, Ampara. Oh, no, sorry, Vaunia. Sorry. That one. Vaunia, yes, good. Mulati also counts. after that, no? Relative. So if your girlfriend is from Baunia Maladev, you can have cowpea. Right? Relative. Mula. You. Good. Then next, black gram.
මොනරාගල
Again, monoragala.
අම්පාර
අම්පාර කුරුණෑගල පුත්තලම
අනුරාධපුර
අනුරාධපුර කුරුණෑගල පුත්තලම
Yeah.
අම්පාර
Monoragala. Then second comes Ampara. No?
අම්පාර
Yeah. Then Anuradhapura. No. Kurunagala. No. Anuradhapura. No.
අනුරාධපුර
Anuradhapura. Kurunagala is a complex. So good. Interesting. So get to know them. So in the quiz, I may ask some like those questions. So you can quiz, you can do 3 times. So get your best mark. Highest mark will be taken. Right. So this is the assignment. Go to this website. It's in the LMS. Go to this website. It has all the crops. So select 3 cereal crops and 3 pulses or legumes, and complete this in a document and submit it. What you have to complete? Crop name, 1 variety or varieties. For example, cereal, maize. What are the varieties? Maturity period means how much time or days goes to the complete maturity of harvest. Planting space and the yield. Price, varieties, maturity, pulses, green gram, something like that. So you can pick any kind of 3 cereal, 3 pulses, complete this and submit. 1 variety. And then also you have a quiz. So you all can go to the LMS now. And you can do that.
Recording stopped.
I'm back. I got this guy. So go to your LMS and you can start doing this assignment. I will. Do you know your subject in the LMS? Right. So here's the LMS link.
Recording stopped.
So I will give you deadline 7th. This is how we change your settings in the behind. See, we can put your date. Right. Okay, so I said that. Both 7th July. And please submit there this also. So the quiz you can try 3 attempts. So give one try. I think there are 15 questions. So I will upload the handout by today afternoon. So you can try the assignment here and finish it off. This is the easy one. Go to this link, Within this link, go to this, make a small document as this table here. The coarse grains, you know what are coarse grains. Rice is separate because this is staple food, right? Don't worry. Now you might wonder why rice is separate, why coarse grains are separate. Rice given a major priority in the department website. It has taken separate space, but it is also cereal. It is also coarse grain, right? Here the legumes are here. You can pick anything. And if you're interested, you have other crops also. You can study those. So go to the English version. You can try Sinhala and Tamil also for your purpose, but fill this form in English. Okay, students. So hope you learn a lot today, right? And hope any questions? Right. I usually take a feedback, but today I didn't prepare it. No questions? So if you have any issues or if you want to contact me, I forgot to give my contact details, right? So this is my mobile number. Right. All right. So wish you all the best for your studies and see you next time. And if you want to follow me, please follow me in the LinkedIn. I think that is the best. You can type Surantha Sargal in the LinkedIn. I'll send my link. I will give my link now. So always try to learn new things. Yes, our agriculture is little traditional, but as a younger generation, I always encourage you to go for new ways. Remember that traditional also is a knowledge gathered by experience, and that is also kind of a concept. So you can develop your own concept. That is not the end. Our traditional knowledge is not the end for everything, right? If world thought like that, we should always be in the traditional, the world will not develop. So you should always think something more than that. So this is my LinkedIn profile. You can connect there. Okay, thank you then, and have a good afternoon, and see you again next time somewhere. Right, thank you, students.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.